Hey everyone, Jonathan Cronstead here, better known as Jay Cron, CEO of Empower Network, and I'm coming to you with another Empower Network up-and-comer. And today, we're actually going to be spending a little bit of time with my man, Pat Patterson, and I'm also, of course, joined by my lovely assistant, Ms. Tara Mangan. And today we're going to be bringing you a story about Pat Patterson, an individual that needs no introduction, because if you've been watching our leaderboards, you've been seeing his name there. So we're going to spend a brief period today talking about Pat's story, how he got here, what obstacles he's overcome, and what he's found to be the chief change agents in driving the success that he's experiencing right now with Empower Network. So without further ado, Pat, how you doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you doing, Jonathan? Tara?
And I'm doing wonderful. You know, every time I have the opportunity to connect with our affiliates in the field that are driving results, I just get excited because every time we have one of these calls, I never know what I'm going to learn about that I haven't yet learned about for the people that are driving success. So for Pat, everyone watching, they may not know your backstory, and I know that Tara and I have gotten to know you a little bit over the last couple of calls. Why don't you share with everyone, what was your life like prior to Empower Network? You know, what brought us to this point today?
Well, I was a police officer out of the state of Georgia and never dreamed of doing anything else with my life. I came from a complete law enforcement family, so I never figured I would do anything but law enforcement. And tragically, one night I got seriously injured in the line of duty, and it took me completely out of law enforcement. And I went through 4 neck surgeries, and after the last surgery, I found out from my doctor that, no, I would not be able to go back to active duty. They're putting a medical hold on my post-certification. So my law enforcement career was over. So during my recoup time, and my doctor told me, okay, after this last surgery, you're bedridden. You got to lay in bed. I don't want you to turn your head left or right. Don't move your neck much for about 4 days. So during that 4 days, I'm bored. I've got my laptop on my stomach, and I'm just searching around for something to do. You know, I figure, okay, it's going to take me about 4 months to heal. So I'm going to look for something to do from home. That's when I found the Empower Network. And I got lucky because I've heard the war stories out there. I went through this program and that program and that program. But what caught my attention was the blogging beast. Back in 2013, it was the big beast was coming out, and I watched the video with David Sharp and David Woods with the cape and, you know, running around. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So that intrigued me.
I absolutely do.
And I thought it was great that, hey, these are real people. You know, they're either real or insane. One of the two.
Well, you know, Pat, after you get to know them, you may find out it's both. So, you know, when you meet Dave Wood and you find out what his vision is, it takes a little bit of a different personality to really want to change the world, and that's definitely what he's out to do. So when you look at, I mean, I can only imagine, you know, a law enforcement career I've heard is much more of a calling than it is just a career choice. You know, that it becomes something that most people really define themselves by. And I have to imagine it must have been a different emotional transition when you've always viewed yourself as a police officer to now begin making the transition of, I'm going to become an online marketer. What was that transition like? What was that thought like?
Well, it really wasn't a thought. It wasn't something that I planned, because I knew, laying there in bed on my back looking up at the ceiling, I realized that, okay, the only thing I'm going to be able to do is go guard a telephone pole in a parking lot for a security company somewhere, because law enforcement's all I knew. So once I found the Empower Network, then I changed. Then I was like, this guy's doing it, that guy's doing it. Of course, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, because I knew how to check my email at that point. You know, in my patrol unit, I had a computer, but it was GCIC, NCIC. It wasn't, you know, you can't go on the internet. So
sure.
I knew how to set up my, or check my email, I'm sorry. My son kept telling me to go on Facebook, and I thought that was a gossip column, so I stayed away from that. Craigslist was just a garage sale online to me. And YouTube was a place where I watched blooper videos, people on a skateboard falling down, you know, getting hurt. So I didn't realize you could market on this stuff. So when I say I was new, I was completely new. And I know you hear that a lot in this industry, but I'm telling you, I knew nothing. But where I made my biggest mistake is when going into it, I'm like, I hear these success stories. Hey, I'm making $6,000, I'm making $10,000 a month, and I'm coming from $27,200 a year as a police officer. I'm like, yeah, right, sure you are. So my mindset wasn't right. I didn't have the right mindset to venture into.
You bring up a really interesting point, Pat, and these are some of my favorite things to ask our affiliates about. Is everyone has their favorite commission story, and for some people it may be the day they made X, or it might be the month they made X, or it might be the time that they were driving out for a family road trip and they got a commission notification in the mail while they were heading on to vacation. What is your favorite commission story here at Empower Network?
The one that's most memorable is my very first one. And it wasn't much money. I started October 17th of 2013. November the 11th, 2013, I made my first, because then we were 100% commission, so I made $25 on November the 11th. And Jonathan, I swear you'd have thought I won the lottery. I was like, hey, come here. Yeah, I was so excited. I actually made money online. This can work. Once that happened, now I knew it was all up to me. Nobody else was going to hold my hand. Nobody was going to babysit me. I knew I could do this now because I just saw results. And I hadn't even done that much. I had probably, 3 videos on YouTube. I was in the process of learning how to do Craigslist, which was a mistake because I should have mastered one before moving on to the other. But I was trying to do so much at once, I was overwhelmed. But that first $25, Jonathan, there's just no feeling like it. And even the second and third and fourth and, so on, I don't take anything for granted. But that first one was just like, I just won the lottery.
And Pat, for everybody watching that may not be as familiar with your story as I am, how much have you earned with Empower Network so far?
Probably... Now I'm going about $34,000 with just Empower. Now that doesn't count the other stuff. So
I mean, Pat, that is just a spectacular story. That, I mean, when you talk about what you came from, in the police department and to reinventing yourself entirely into a completely different career and being able to drive those results. And, of course, everyone that's watching, Pat's results are not typical because Pat's not typical. And if you'd like, you can see our average earnings disclaimer at empowernetwork.com/income, and you can check out that information. But what Pat really embodies is you can see that he's applied himself, and whether it be through video marketing or Craigslist, he's been able to drive results in his business that have literally transformed his life. And Pat, if you were talking to, the thousands of people that are going to watch this video and they're going to want to know what the secret was or when everything changed, and, as I've come to know all of our affiliates, I've found that there rarely is a secret, that the secret is always not a secret. It's just, plugging in and doing the work. But what I'd love to know is if you were to look back over the course of your time here at Empower Network and the amazing success that you've been able to create in a relatively short period of time, what would you say was the defining moment? What was the moment where something switched or something changed and you began to drive results that you hadn't been able to drive before because of whatever may have been different?
That's very easy. It was all mindset. When I was working this business, I still was like, okay, if I can make just $500 a month, I'll be okay. I'll be happy with that. So I was limiting myself. I woke up one morning, and I don't know what changed, and this sounds probably corny, but I woke up and I was like, you know what? This is not just an online business. This is mine. It's my business, and I get to run it however I want to. What I'm getting at is I changed from an employee mindset. I work, and 2 weeks later I want a paycheck. I changed to a business owner's mindset, and I felt it. I mean, it was really exciting when I figured I'm the business owner here. I can do this. And at that time, I hadn't made a lot of money. It was March 21st of 2014. I'll never forget the day because I was like, yes, I'm really going to make this thing work. So I went from a employee mindset to who's going to help me and hold my hand to, hey, I don't need anybody to hold my hand. I'm going to figure this out. All the information I need is somewhere on the internet. So that day, March 21st, I watched all the videos in Empower Network, all the training videos, the fast start videos. That helped tremendously. I started listening to the audio tapes because I was at that point at the inner circle level. I was listening to some John Moreau's training videos. and my mindset changed to a business owner, that was the defining moment. That's when that I went from making $164 in 3 months, working 8 to 10 hours a day, to making $1,900 in 1 month, working 6 hours a day. So
I like the math better after you made the decision to adopt a business owner mindset, and I think you did as well. And what I love the way that you laid that out, Pat, is that I think what you're talking about is something that I'm sure a lot of people that are watching this, meet and greet opportunity with you are probably in varying stages of either arriving at that decision point, or recently having made it and moving past it. And you're completely correct that until you realize that you have everything available to you at your disposal, and the most exciting thing is it's all up to you, and the most intimidating thing is it's all up to you. But once you move past that intimidation and you own that, the world is your oyster, and literally driving results in your business becomes something that becomes second nature. So when you look at what you're most excited about now moving forward, the aspects of your life that are different as a result of Empower Network, what does the future look like? What are you most excited about?
I'm most excited about, because it's not about money to me. And money's great. Don't get me wrong. Money is great, but it's more the challenge. The more to stay on those boards, the more to help my team and help others. They don't even have to be on my team. If they need some help, I'm a phone call or email away. It's just that, and without sounding corny, during my beginning, I would pray every day, please God, give me the strength, the courage, the ability, the knowledge to do this. And he did. But with that came a promise that I would pay it forward. I would help others. I would guide them. If they're willing to help themselves, I can help them. And not that I'm the best or anything, but I focus and I stay on one task until it's done. I'm a perfectionist. So with that business owner's mindset, I focus on my business and treat it like a business, which most people after 2 weeks, they don't make $10,000. They're like, oh, that was a scam. That didn't work. Well, you can't do that. So my goal going forward is obviously, I want to get to $20,000 a month, but my ultimate goal is to stand on stage at one of the events and have David Wood or yourself hand me my $1 million ring. And I know that's down the road, but that is my ultimate goal, and that's what I'm working for. As long as I can make enough money to pay my bills, which I make way over that amount, but it's more goals now, not income, not money. So,
well, what I love, Pat, about the way that, and I want to bring that back because I think it's something that everybody watching needs to understand, is that being able to get in touch with your why and having your why be far greater than money is something that the power cannot be overstated. And you shared with the fact that you want to pay it forward, and that you may not be the expert in everything, but you are the expert in how to get where you are right now. And so for anyone that is, looking to figure that part out, the commitment you have to build your team and to get them all to where you are, and as a result get yourself to the next level, is a process that I wanted to make sure to highlight that for everyone watching, because that pay it forward idea is really what drives this entire industry. The willingness to want to create change for others is what allows you to create change for yourself. So I couldn't be more excited about that. And then, Pat, the only thing that I'd like to close with here that I always like to close with is you've got thousands of people that are going to be watching this that may be in varying levels of decision process of either looking at us for the first time, having been here a while and deciding what to do next, or maybe they're just beginning to now really move into some serious momentum in their business. If you had the opportunity to leave them with one thought or one idea, what would it be?
Don't quit, no matter what. There was several times I wanted to throw my laptop out of a window. I got overwhelmed, frustrated. I quit. I can't do this. People look at successful people and they just feel like we've always been this way. We didn't really have to struggle like they're struggling. Trust me, I struggled. Many, many thousands of people out there are struggling to build their business. Don't quit, no matter what. You keep moving forward, and the only way you can not be successful is to quit. So it's up to you. You want to be successful, you want to quit. That's the best advice I can give them, Jonathan, is just don't quit on yourself. Because when you quit, you're quitting on yourself and your family. And I refuse to quit, no matter how hard it got, and it got hard several times. where YouTube accounts would be shut down and I'd lose 100 videos. I did not quit. I kept moving forward. That's the difference between being successful or being online looking for another business or staying at your job. So that's the best advice I can give them, Jonathan.
Well, for all of our viewers at home tuning in from all over the world, I couldn't have said it better myself, and I'm not even going to go ahead and say it any differently. You heard it direct from Pat Patterson. Don't quit. If you quit, you're quitting on yourself, you're quitting on your family, and you're quitting on your dreams. I couldn't say it any better. So everyone watching, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Empower Network's Up and Comers. Pat Patterson, thank you for being here with us and sharing your success and inspiring others and equipping others to achieve the success themselves.
Jonathan, thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
Our pleasure. So, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, Jay Cron here with Empower Network and my lovely assistant, Tara Meng.
Folks, obviously the income examples discussed are extraordinary. The income claims presented are not intended to serve as a guarantee of income. Instead, they're designed to give you an idea of what's possible. Success in this business requires leadership, hard work, and dedication. Since we want to help you make an informed decision, we've gone above and beyond with our income disclosure document. If you want to see the average earnings, please visit the page at www.empowernetwork.com/income.php.